Welcome. Thanks for joining us, guys. I am Eric Gray, Director of Ministry at RockFish Church, and this is the Ministry Corner. In this series, we're going to be talking to two of our ministry leaders, Rebecca Overstreet and Katie Ray, about their experiences, their advice moving forward, and everything homeschool. So if you're interested, if you want to know more about homeschooling your kids, or if you want tips, this is the place for you. Let's get right into it, guys. Thanks for joining us today, guys. We have Katie Ray and Becca Overstreet with us, and we're going to talk about homeschooling. So we're going to get right into it. So as our ministry leaders, Becca, real quick, how many years have you been doing homeschool ministry for however many kids you have?
Oh my gosh. Well, I have 3 kids and I've been homeschooling 5 years. And, as they grow, we started at kindergarten. So 11, I think you said all together, each child.
Yep. So a total of 11 cumulative years between all the years. Okay. Awesome. And you're still in it.
I'm still in it.
You didn't quit.
I didn't quit.
Okay. All right. And so we're just this is the credentialing part, right? Like, so Katie, how long have you been doing it and how many kids do you have?
So we're still fairly new. I have 4 kids and this is our 2nd year homeschooling. So cumulative about 8 years.
Okay. So you went from homeschooling 0 kids to 4 kids in 1 year.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Why not jump right all in?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So and you're both still part of it, and you've both chosen and accepted the responsibility of leading the RockFish Church homeschool group. So first off, thank you. When it comes to that, I want to talk about why we got there. I know every family is going to have their different reasons, but so Katie, specifically, what made you guys decide, hey, not only are we going to do this, we're going to try with all 4 kids at one time?
So it's kind of a long story, but to shorten it down is we dealt with a lot of bullying and things at the private school that we were going to, and it was just issues that just were not resolving. We tried everything, and I was weekly, daily text messages and emails and phone calls and in-person visits with teachers. And these things were just not resolving for my son. And we just decided we have to make a change, right? So I went to church and had this amazing group of ladies who were very encouraging and just kept saying, why don't you homeschool them? Like, you can do this. And I was very much like, this is not going to happen. I can't do this. Like, there's 4 of them. And they said, this is what God made you for. Yeah. God put you on this earth and gave you these children for this reason. You can do this, and we will be here to support you. And so I had 6 ladies over the course of a couple of weeks who just really encouraged me constantly and said, you can do this. And they're still behind me, and that we still go to each other and talk to each other and support one another. And so, I mean, if it wasn't for them, I might not have had the courage to do it, but it's been the biggest blessing for our family to be able to do this.
Okay. So was it just bullying that led to the decision? Were there other factors that contributed to that as well?
I mean, we did move away about 45 minutes away from their school. So that was a part of it. And that commute was just not going to be possible. And then the bullying was, it was a big thing because it was 4 years of dealing with this and just watching my son go from this happy, healthy child to, some severe mental health problems. And he was crying every day. And I just said, we can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
Right. And watching him thrive now and smile again and make friends again has been the best thing for him. And he's so happy. And he serves at church. And he's an encouragement to other kids. And just watching that and watching him, be such a great big brother and teaching his siblings, that has been our biggest, blessing. And I just don't know how to describe it. It's been amazing.
But it's life changing, not just
really
for
was.
him, not just for him, but his siblings and for you guys, right?
Absolutely.
So, we'll get to benefits later.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about why we chose to do it. So Becca, can you clue us into why you chose to go this route as well?
Yeah. Well, when my daughter was in 1st grade, she was just bored, and she'd come off the bus and she'd throw her backpack on the ground, and she was just mad. I'm like, oh, I feel bad because I want her to feel that joy and of learning, and so she was mad. And so one day at school, she has this incident, and she's bleeding, and I'm like, all right, I'm done, I quit. And so I pull her out, and then my middle son has autism, and all his therapists, we've been going to therapy extensively, full-time job, and all his therapists and doctors say there's no way you can homeschool him. And all this negativity, like, you probably can't. It's probably a law, is what they're telling me.
So they're saying that they're thinking that you're ill-equipped and you need to send him to a specialist for care? Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
He has to go to public school. There's probably no other way. I am a researcher, and there are plenty of advocates out there. There's actually a scholarship for homeschooling special needs. In addition to the private school scholarship for North Carolina. Fun fact. So we tried kindergarten because I listened to the therapist. And after a couple months, it was fortunately the year they were home anyway. I'm like, okay, I can kind of compromise. And they were home anyway.
We're talking about COVID time frame? Okay.
So he and Adelie went back. She's frustrated again, of course. And what they're teaching a kindergarten special education class was just not okay with me. And so I'm like, laptop shut, okay, we're done. And it was such a joy to get my kids back. You know, that the love for nature and discovering things on their own, and that spark light up again in them. That's why I was like, all right, there's no going back. We're going to move forward and just embrace this.
Right.
And my third child, he, I don't know how he could do in a school. He can't sit still. He probably, bless his heart. Sometimes if he's misbehaving, I'll be like, I'm going to send you to public school, son. He's like, Mom, I don't think public school exists.
I think we've all been there a little bit.
Yeah.
It's fine. This kid, he's so driven, and he took apart my vacuum cleaner and put it back together and said, Mom, it needs this double C battery or something, and you need to buy this plug-in. Here it is. I'm like, you're 5. What? I was going to throw this away. So letting them be able to thrive with what they're interested in. There's no way he could have gotten that. So it's just a joy.
Good. So you had a couple contributing factors, right? You said you had special needs for what you said for Levi?
Yep.
Okay. And then
they told
you had the
Adelie
incident with the daughter, right?
Yep.
So we had multiple things, and then content, right? Controlling the content coming into the kids' minds, right?
Yes.
And I think that's something a lot of parents are probably struggling with these days.
Yeah.
Is what are they teaching my kids? Am I okay with it? And how do I go about addressing it? You know, where you see, I mean, there's uproar in school boards all around the country these days in the last couple of years, right? And not a whole lot of response to it, right? So I know there's multiple reasons parents would even consider. It's not just because your child might be in a situation where they have what we would generally refer to as special needs, right? Or they had an incident, or just bullying. We've got all kinds of considerations that might draw us into this, right?
Absolutely.
And I think so, and we come from a generation where you went to public school?
Absolutely.
You went to public school?
Yes.
And I went to public school, right? I didn't have a problem with it, and I wanted to raise my kids. I was like, my kids don't need private school. They can go to public school. I turned out fine-ish, right? I don't like that.
No, not for
So
you.
my husband and I grew up on complete opposite spectrums. So
Okay.
I went to public school. He went to boarding school in another country.
Oh, wow.
So we were like, oh my gosh, like this is, how are we ever going to agree on what to do with our kids?
Yeah.
And so we kind of compromised on no public school, and we'll just do private school, right?
Yeah.
But you tried another method.
Right.
You weren't
exactly.
satisfied
No.
with it, how it was being addressed, how the kids are being cared for, the things they're learning, right? All these things.
Absolutely.
And so, but I say that because we come from a generation where it's kind of like, if you were homeschooled, you were
You're
the weird
weird.
kid,
Yes,
right?
or
Absolutely.
unsocialized
You were the-
homeschoolers.
That's the thing, right? That's the thing. That was. But I look around at RockFish, and I'm so thankful that we have so many families. And I think you guys told me we have roughly how many families that are active in the ministry?
About 30 families
about 30
active in our
families.
ministry, but
so that's
there's
more than
more.
30 kids. That's 30 families,
Yeah, that's
right?
30 and
Okay.
most of us have anywhere between 1 to 9 kids.
Right, yeah. Wow.
And I say that broadly because we do have exactly that. Like we have some who have 9 kids, and we have some that have 4 and 1, and
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
And we have
fine.
something for
We
all
just
ages,
share
right?
life
Absolutely.
together.
Yeah. We do
So-
everything from 5-year-olds to we have high schoolers who get to do fun things. So we try
Perfect.
to make it so that everybody feels included.
And we don't demand that anybody have to participate or be
No,
part of the
not at
ministry.
all.
We're
No.
just there for them, right?
Yeah.
To be able to walk them through that process, to give them a connection point. So if we've got 30 families that are participating, how many families do you think we have at RockFish that are actually doing the homeschool life?
Probably
Oh
about
my gosh.
50.
Yeah,
50 plus, absolutely.
50 plus. So that's pretty significant
Really
in
cool.
our area.
Yeah.
So, and
not
I wasn't
uncommon.
horribly opposed to even the public elementary school our kid went to. I was just really concerned about. I know when I went to junior high, I was in 7th grade, and I know all the things I was
That they-
introduced to and
Oh
the
my
things I
gosh,
was
don't
trying
get
out.
us started.
And I saw my kid.
and
And
you're
I'm like, I
fearful.
can't put this 6th grader in middle school because I know kids are just doing more and learning
Yeah.
more, all the things we don't want them around.
Yeah.
So here's one of the things I was kind of introduced to this concept a few years ago through a former church member of ours, and he had made a post, right? The accusation is you're raising your kids in a bubble, right? And so you're overly protective. And his response to that was, no, this concept is a greenhouse, right? Like I am controlling what comes in for the benefit of my child, and you both use the word thrive for your children,
Yes.
right? And so we're not just isolating, right? We're isolating specific things out. We're controlling certain things in, and we're seeing the growth, the development, the promise,
Yeah.
the life within those children, right?
Yeah.
And so is there any part of you that makes you think, like, you know what, this might have been a bad decision or not the best decision for one of my 3 or 4 kids?
If I say that every day is perfect as a homeschooler, I'd be lying. There's ups and downs. There's moments that you doubt yourself, but then you go to your friend and they encourage you and try to keep you on the straight and narrow, right? In the path that you chose. Yeah, it's just kind of like with our faith. We need that encouragement. If you do it alone, yes, you're going to be discouraged. But if you have somebody in your corner cheering you on, then that's how you can move forward.
Yeah, so we get fellowship out of that as well, right? So misery loves company, right? In the challenges, but we get to celebrate the highs and the lows,
Yeah.
right?
It's
And
so much.
And so we got like a field trip coming up. I mean, we do planned events, right? That the families can choose to participate in.
Yep.
So quick question: if my family is doing homeschooling,
Okay.
but we're not always active in the ministry,
Okay.
is there like some registration we need to do, some dues we need to pay? Like how do I get involved, even if it's just I want to do the one event this year where you guys are going to go see a battleship?
Yeah.
Right. So for the homeschool group, the only requirements there are is to be a member of RockFish Church.
Okay.
Then let us know. We'll add you to the group. You can show up as many times as you want. You can never show up.
Okay.
We don't require you to pay anything unless you go to an event. So
That-
for
that has
example,
an attendance of fee, right?
So we're
Okay.
going to the battleship this weekend. Homeschool group students are paid for. So parents are the only people that would have to pay.
Okay. So out of our ministry budget, we're paying for the kids
Yes.
to go, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And then so if parents want to attend, they just have to cover
Yeah.
their own fee.
Absolutely.
Or if they brought a kid that was too young to qualify for homeschool or something like that. Or if they
Most
pay that
field
fee.
trips, they're
Yeah, we always have a handful of kids who are either older because they've graduated high school or they're younger. And so we try to get the price ranges right for those kids too, or adults, young adults. And we try to let people know in advance, like, you know, we will cover the school age kids. So 5 to 18.
Gotcha.
But then after that, you know, parents are responsible for that.
And
But the fees are usually pretty good, especially for the
Yeah.
younger kids, because under 4, a lot of times you're free anyways.
yeah, most
Gotcha.
places. And it's such a huge blessing because a lot of these families have more than one kid, and so paying for these field trips might not be in the cards every month,
Right.
but we try to make it so that they can have a well-rounded experience and get to go on some of these things.
So bottom line, if we're a family that's starting out homeschooling at any point in the school year or any point in the calendar year, we can connect with the RockFish Church
Absolutely.
homeschool group.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have
Perfect.
people join us all throughout the year, and we're more than happy to. We have people who are saying, like, we're going to homeschool next year. Can you add us? And I'm like, absolutely. As soon as we get like closer to the end of the year, we will add you in, right?
Perfect.
Yeah.
Simple.
And we're always here to answer any questions.
Absolutely.
And we just care about people.
Yeah, and they don't need to just come to you guys. They can come
Yeah.
to
No, they can come
any
to
parents
anybody.
in the system, right?
It's so cool.
Perfect. Okay. So that kind of wraps up this session. So guys, stay tuned. We're going to see you next for how to homeschool. Thank you. Hey, thanks for joining us, guys. Hopefully this was really helpful and exciting for you. And if you got any questions, please leave them in the comments. Please like and share with anybody you know is interested in homeschooling their kids. Take care.